Ted Kaptchuk, The Web That Has No Weaver, Understanding Chinese Medicine. Step into a world where medicine defies the typical path of diagnosing disease by root cause. The Web That Has No Weaver, by Ted Kaptchuk, introduces you to traditional Chinese medicine and TCM, a practice that views health through the lens of balance and disharmony. Unlike Western medicine, which often zeroes in on specific pathogens or physical abnormalities, TCM interprets symptoms as parts of complex patterns within an individual's physiological and emotional state. This book summary will guide you through key concepts like Yin-Yang theory, which sees health as a dynamic interplay of opposites, and how this perspective leads to tailored treatment plans. Prepare to unravel how Chinese medicine perceives the body as an interconnected web, providing a fresh vantage point for understanding ailments, especially those labeled as psychosomatic in Western terms. Embark on a journey to understand health as a state of harmonious balance within the vast mosaic of life.
Patterns of healing. Imagine trying to understand an object by observing the space it doesn't fill, a technique used in learning to draw. This concept can also illuminate the philosophy behind traditional Chinese medicine. Rather than seeking causes, it identifies patterns, much like recognizing the negative space around an object. Western medicine relies heavily on cause and effect, focusing on isolating specific sources of disease. Aristotle emphasized understanding things by identifying their causes, which underpins Western scientific thought. In Western medicine, doctors typically trace symptoms back to a singular cause, such as a disease. A symptom is a puzzle piece that reveals an underlying problem when examined closely. This approach is analogous to a surgeon using precise cuts to pinpoint an illness. In contrast, Chinese medicine offers a broader lens, viewing the patient as a tapestry woven from countless bodily phenomena and symptoms. Consider a clinical study where both Western and Chinese doctors examined 6 patients with stomach pain. The Western diagnosis pinpointed a common cause, peptic ulcer disease. However, when these patients were assessed through the lens of Chinese medicine, 6 distinct patterns of disharmony emerged. One patient exuded assertiveness, arrogance, a robust reddish complexion, and other specific symptoms. Another patient, timid and frail, painted a vastly different picture with her ashen complexion and stress-induced insomnia. Each patient's unique combination of symptoms and life circumstances led the Chinese physician to discern a unique pattern for each one. Instead of isolating a disease from the person, Chinese medicine views symptoms as interconnected pieces within a person's entire being and life story. It seeks to comprehend how a symptom integrates into the patient's existence rather than narrowing down to a specific cause. This holistic approach challenges the physician to perceive the overall pattern within which symptoms reside. Ultimately, Chinese medicine's essence lies in its holistic view, considering the patient's life, symptoms, and behaviors. It acknowledges that no part of a person can be disconnected from the whole. This approach encourages treating the entire person rather than just targeting a disease, offering a view where every symptom is a part of a larger puzzle, inviting healing through understanding patterns that underpin health and disharmony. Yin-Yang Harmony. Chinese philosophy opens a window into understanding the world through patterns of balance and imbalance, hinging on the concept of yin-yang. In this perspective, everything exists in interdependent pairs like hot-cold, light-dark, and so forth. Yin embodies attributes that are slow, soft, cold, and passive, while yang represents traits that are fast, hard, hot, and active. Consider fire as the essence of yang and water as the quintessential yin. While categorizing phenomena into yin or yang might seem primary, the essence is in their relationship. Picture a mountain at sunrise. As sunlight graces one side, we have yang, the shadowed side is yin. The mountain encompasses both, illustrating how yin and yang are parts of a whole. Their opposition actually grants them meaning, as concepts like light and darkness are relative to each other. This dynamic relationship shifts continuously. At dawn, more shadow prevails until the rising sun increases yang. By midday, the dynamic shifts again with yang receding and yin growing as the sun descends. These changes aren't merely in the quantities of light and shade but cause a shift in quality, marking transitions from day to night and back. This interplay of yin and yang mirrors natural cycles, the daily passage from morning to night, the change in seasons, and the human life cycle, each characterized by these dynamic relationships. True harmony arises when yin and yang coexist in balance, like during the equinoxes when day and night achieve equilibrium. Imbalance, however, leads to disharmony. Imagine a typical scenario in life: resting and recovering nurture us, a yin activity, while engaging actively in the world is yang. Ideally, a balance of these energies leads to harmony. Productivity without rest leads to burnout, a yang excess, and the body can't sustain itself indefinitely under such strain. Conversely, excessive withdrawal results in atrophy from lack of use, a surplus of yin. This understanding of yin-yang extends into Chinese medicine, emphasizing balance as crucial for health and vitality, where both excess and deficiency introduce disharmony and imbalance. Harmony and health. Health is a reflection of our alignment with nature. While Western medicine often views the body as a machine with components that must run smoothly, Chinese medicine sees health as a harmony akin to music. In this perspective, the body's state is not just about its parts working well individually, but about all parts working in unison, much like instruments in an orchestra. The cello's strings, like the body's organs, must be in tune with the orchestra, representing nature. If any instrument falls out of tune, dissonance occurs, symbolizing illness. Illness arises from a disruption in this natural balance, not simply from an isolated physical issue. When the body's defenses are too weak or resources are depleted, the equilibrium is broken, opening the door to disease. In this view, a person isn't sick because they catch a disease; instead, they catch a disease because they are already out of harmony with nature. Thus, Chinese medicine focuses on restoring this balance rather than pinpointing a single cause. The belief is that by re-establishing harmonious relationships within the body, the conditions allowing disease to thrive will vanish on their own. This approach emphasizes creating a balanced environment to support health, suggesting that when the body's internal harmony is restored, what we perceive as causes of illnesses dissipate along with the disharmony. Harmony of health. Imagine the human body as a garden, a lush ecosystem where balance is paramount. Just as a gardener meticulously tends to their garden, a Chinese physician works tirelessly to maintain harmony within the human landscape. The garden thrives through cycles: seeds sprout, grow, and ultimately decay, returning nutrients to the soil. This cyclical nature, directed by balance, a harmonious blend of sun and water, mirrors the Chinese philosophy of health, where excessive yang, sun, or yin, water, disrupts vitality. This poetic metaphor places the physician in the gardener's role, tending to the body's landscape with care and precision. The ultimate goal is not to force growth but to nurture conditions favorable for well-being. Physicians, akin to gardeners, engage in practices like observing, diagnosing, and rebalancing, to bring order to the body's internal ecosystem. They enrich the soil of health by examining signs and cues, much like assessing soil fertility, ensuring each organism within this ecosystem, whether plant or person, can flourish. In practical terms, a Chinese physician evaluates patients with a gardener's eye, attuned to subtle climatic variations, heat, cold, dampness, dryness, and wind, that might disturb the body's balance. These factors, termed pernicious influences in Chinese medicine, are scrutinized through signs like dry skin or concentrated urine, akin to a parched plant needing water. Chinese philosophy views symptoms not just as isolated events but as interconnected phenomena reflecting deeper imbalances in the internal environment. Take diabetes, for instance. Described as severe dryness in this holistic view, it illustrates the principle that bodily afflictions mirror natural conditions. Just as a fire leaves skin red and swollen, internal heat manifests in similar symptoms, even in the absence of an apparent burn. The physician, while unable to see this internal fire, reads its signs to comprehend the body's overarching health narrative. Ultimately, the art of Chinese medicine is about perceiving the unseen through the visible, harmonizing what is unbalanced, and ensuring the ecosystem thrives, not through force, but through wisdom and gentle intervention, much like a gardener guiding nature's course. Bridging medical worlds. Western medicine categorizes diseases into two main types. The first, known as organic diseases, involves physical changes or damage to the body. These are typically easier to diagnose because they have clear causes, like bacterial infections or cancerous cells, which specialists can identify under a microscope. On the other hand, some ailments, such as chronic fatigue, migraines, mental illness, and rheumatism, defy this clear-cut classification. They don't have obvious structural causes and are often labeled psychosomatic, meaning their roots lie within the psyche rather than the physical body. Chinese medicine offers a different perspective. It looks at the human condition through a holistic lens, evaluating patterns of disharmony in the patient's life and environment. By not focusing solely on structural issues, Chinese medicine provides valuable insights into functional problems, emphasizing the entire human experience. This approach often appeals to those seeking a deeper understanding of their health conditions, especially when Western methods fall short in addressing these complex issues. Despite their differences, both Western and Chinese medicine have undeniable strengths. Western medicine, greatly influenced by Louis Pasteur's germ theory of disease, has achieved remarkable technological advances, saving countless lives through its focus on isolating diseases. However, some practitioners and patients feel it sometimes overlooks the broader picture of human health. The holistic philosophy of Chinese medicine may offer a complementary angle, potentially addressing areas where Western medicine appears limited. Together, these two medical philosophies hold the promise of a more balanced and comprehensive understanding of health and disease.
Ted Kaptchuk's exploration of Chinese medicine offers an insightful antidote to the Western focus on isolated diseases. By weaving symptoms into patterns of disharmony, Chinese medicine presents a holistic view that reconnects symptoms with the entirety of the patient's being. This approach enriches our understanding of psychosomatic conditions, often overlooked within the binary structure of Western diagnostics. While Western medicine excels in tackling organic diseases with precision, it sometimes misses the broader strokes of a patient's life and experiences. Chinese medicine, with its ancient wisdom, reminds us of the equilibrium between body, mind, and environment, serving as a complementary perspective to modern medical practices. Embrace this harmonious interplay and discover a balanced path to wellness where traditional insights meet contemporary needs.